talk to you about the Kids Zone app, tool Create a Graph. This tool will be good for any grade level, really. I would say starting at about second or third grade when they're able to write their own text. This is a great piece to your graphing units. As in my district, graphing is encouraged and recommended to be spiraled throughout the school year. So maybe you can start off with having them create tally charts and frequency charts and tables, and then slowly get them to creating bar graphs and line graphs and pie charts on their own. And towards the end of the school year, once you feel like they have mastered it um, with pen and paper tasks, then they may go ahead and introduce the technology piece. I really like this tool because it takes it step by step and it really does everything for you. All you need to do is understand the different parts and elements of a graph, and then you're able to quickly put it together. And I think that children will really enjoy it as they're able to create something on their own, and they've been able to create it from a question to them doing the survey with their class to them interpreting the information, and then lastly going ahead and putting the technology component with it and making a bar graph. I like to extend bar graph activities when I have my students do bar graphs or surveys on their own. I have them, after they've created the bar graph, I have them create questions about their bar graph, at least four, and then I also have them write a reflection. What information did you learn after completing your survey, gathering all your data, and interpreting it? And, it's the beginning of the school year, so they're working on it. It's still a work in progress. But hopefully, by the time I'm able to incorporate the technology piece, that they will be able to do all of it independently and master all of the skills that are a part of this unit. So, create a graph. Very easy, very step by step. The first thing you need to do is click on which type of graph you are going to use. For my babies, we're going to start off with bar graphs. So I'm going to go ahead and click that one. Now you still have the option to change your graph, but on the side, this is where you will build it. So we have a bar graph chosen. I'm going to keep it simple and go ahead and stay with the vertical lines. We can be fancy and we can do a pattern. I know the kids will probably like that. And then everything else, we only need 5 grid lines, and everything else can stay the same. Next, we'll input our data. What I really like about this is it makes the students have to think about what it is that they're doing, what's going on. They need to tell you the graph title, the x-axis label, and the y-axis label. I really like that, as in we talk about those things in class, so it's a way for you to assess them to make sure that they know what's going on. So for this graph, it's going to be favorite ice cream flavors. The y-axis will be the ice cream flavors. And the y will be number of students. And our source will be Miss Ford's class. I will have my students write their name there just so they can give themselves credit for the creation of the graph. So then we will go ahead and enter our item numbers. And For this graph chart, we used vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, and cookies and cream. So we'll just fill those in. And I really had my students do this activity. It's one of their math stations that they have done, and they really enjoyed being able to survey and go around and get the information from their peers. It was really fun to watch them. And I changed it to four because I just realized that we only have four options. So then you'll set your min and max. And um, for the sake of my kids, I will tell them the max value is 20 because there are 20 people in the classroom. And we don't know. Well, we will know, but if I was to make a graph before, just set up my graph before I had the data, I would want to make sure that I have enough room for every person, just in case everybody chooses one flavor. You never know. So, for our sake, cookies and cream is a classroom favorite, so we're gonna put 9. And no one really cared for strawberry, and then chocolate and vanilla. Okay. And this is just some data off the top of my head, I'll be honest. So then we'll go to our next one where we will work on our labels. Um, we don't have any prefixes or suffixes. I really like that they give you all of the information that you need over here. Um, I don't want to show the label, as in if I have my kid, I would like for my children, my students, once they post their charts around the room and the other kids can go around. I like to do gallery walks rather. So I'll post all of the graphs on the wall and I'll allow all of the class to go in groups and then they'll write a question or write a piece of information that they can find out from reading the data. So, do you know the title? What is it about? There were 10 people who like cookies and cream. That's what I like to do. So I will not give the values on this chart. Um, there are no prefixes and suffixes that are needed, and I'll give us a fun font with a fun color because I'm sure that's what the students will do. Next, we'll preview it and up. That green I can't see. I like to tell my kids I'm an old lady. I need to make sure that I can read it. If I can't read it, then I don't think that anyone else who's viewing it will be able to read it. So let's preview it again, and there we are. We are able to see it. We see that this is Miss Ford's class, or whoever the author was. The ice cream flavors, the number of students, and then they will have to interpret the data on their own. But because they're creating it themselves, they'll know the numbers that they put in. Um, then once you do that and you've previewed it, you may go to the print and save option. You may save it. You may start a new graph, erase this graph, or copy to a new graph, as in um, put it on a bar graph. On a pie chart, line graph, or one of those things. You may also print it or download it or email it. Um, for my students, I'll more than likely have them print it and post because we will be posting it and doing our gallery walk with it. Gallery walks are really cool if you've never done one. Once you train them, of course, on the type of conversations they should be having and the things that they should be looking for. And this should all be a part of your whole group or mini or small group lessons or mini lessons that you have with your students. And after hearing the vocabulary for so long, hopefully they've picked up on it and they're able to, interpret data on their own. So once you do the gallery walk, I post a few in each corner of the room. I give them clipboards and pencils. Um, no, and stickies. I give them stickies and clipboards and pencils. And they get a sticky to put on each graph. And they have to tell something about the graph that the person in front of them did not do. So they'll be doing it in groups, so it won't be so difficult. So somebody might say the title of the graph is favorite ice cream flavors. So the next person, well, the next group that comes up will say there were more students who liked cookies and cream than vanilla. Then the next group will come up and say um, vanilla was the ice cream flavor least liked by the students. It's just a fun and interactive way for them to interpret data and also make them think about what's going on. I really hope that you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Oh, before we go, I like to copy it to a new graph just to show you guys. Yes, we would. And then we'll just go to design and make it a line graph. And like that, it goes from a bar graph to a line graph. I really like this tool. I think it's simple enough for students to be able to do it on their own. And even if you weren't to give them a step by step, I think they can pick up on it. But I also think that it's practical where it's taking them from pen and paper to technology and allowing them to be fully engaged in creating their finishing product. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Kid Zone, Create a Graph, all of the information is there that you'll need. I hope that once you have your students try it, that you do give them an opportunity to do a gallery walk. I think that is where it's going to really put all the elements of graphing together. And it'll give them a fun activity to do while learning lots of information. I hope this helps and that you try it with your class. Um, Thank you for listening and following along, and good luck to you.